This Very Tree, A Story of 9/11, Resilience and Regrowth by Sean Rubin. This Very Tree. In New York City, there once stood two towers. For this time, they were the tallest buildings in the world. Below the towers was a busy plaza. A plaza is an area where everybody can gather. That's where I was planted. I see some trees down there. Most people who came to my plaza had a job in the city. I had a job too. My leaves gave people shade. My branches gave birds a place to rest. And each year, I was one of the first trees to blossom and get all the flowers. My flowers let everyone know that spring was coming. Some trees like a quiet park or a forest, but I was a city tree. I liked the sound of wind rushing between the tall buildings. I liked the smell of rain on concrete in the summer. I liked being in the plaza, watching everyone coming and going. I was in the plaza the day it happened. It was an ordinary morning. So here's some people going to work, a gentleman reading the newspaper with his cup of coffee, and then look at their faces. It was an ordinary moment until it wasn't. Oh my goodness, look at how scared they look. And I see some smoke. Here we see some people running away. Looks like they're very scared of what happened. And it's so dark. I waited there, alone. Around me, it was dark and hot and close. Did the sun even exist anymore? There, look at how dark it was. Now there's just a little bit of light peeking through, and it gets bigger and bigger, and here it looks like some firefighters that came to help. It was weeks before they found me. Look at all of those workers. And they have a big machine and a crane to help them. When I came back into the light, I knew that everything had changed. The noises and smells of the city scared me. They reminded me of what had happened. Some people put me on a truck and drove me to a nursery in a faraway park. I was grateful to be somewhere quiet. But I had changed too. Look at the difference. Before, this beautiful tree was green and had flowers, and now all the branches are broken. All winter, the people at my nursery took care of me. No one knew if my leaves would come back. But they did. It was peaceful in the park. I was surrounded by other trees. Birds visited me. That first spring, a dove made a nest in my branches. Years passed, and I grew, and I grew, and I grew. I wondered if my city was growing too. there's a building, and then look, that building looks like it's growing too. Sometimes, when a shadow passed overhead, I thought about what had happened. But being surrounded by the other trees made me feel stronger. Some days, I even felt strong enough to do my old job again. That's when I knew I was ready. It was time to go home. Ooh, looks like they're moving it. A machine came to pull me from the ground. The noise scared me. Leaving scared me even more. We drove downtown through the city. Now I was worried to go back. What if something happened again? I already missed all the other trees. Then on the big trucks, carrying it back to the city. Then I saw it. Once one shining spire and many more towers surrounding a new plaza. And in that plaza, they planted a forest. It was filled with trees. Between the trees, they saved 3 empty spaces. 2 spaces remained where the towers once stood. They would stay empty forever because nothing could fill them. The 3rd space was for me. I wasn't comfortable at first. It had been so long since I'd heard the wind between the buildings or smelled wet concrete. But I was surrounded by other trees that made me feel stronger. I had a new job now, too. Anyone who felt a shadow overhead could stand under my leaves and find peace. Anyone who was hurt could see how my branches had healed and find hope. In my plaza, filled with so many trees, I am still the first to blossom. And everyone who sees my flowers knows that spring will come.